Hello, this is Redithan, and welcome to another GPC. This time it is Week 9 against Zazo, aka Iron Flash Gaming, aka head coach of the Detroit Butterfrees. And, so yeah, basically, last week, or not last week, because last week was break week, but the week before, I lost in a game that I probably could have won have I played better, same with the week before, so I'm in a pretty bad positioning, so pretty much if I make the playoffs, it'll have to be because I have to win out, for one thing, to win like the last 3 weeks, and then other things have to fall into place, like people losing the right games and all that, so it's not looking very good, but it's still possible, so we're still trying. I'm gonna finish as high as I can either way, so anyway, if we can make it close, that's awesome. So, let's go into my team here again. Again, Zazo. Let me pull up his team real quick. All right. So, our first mon was Gigareki. He's got Stone Edge, Close Combat, Swords Dance, and Rock Polish. This really just beat his team like completely once I got an SD up. The Rock Polish was just in case. Well, I mean, of course, there's Virizion, which is a speed tie, and that's really it. Or Scarf Chomp as well. That could also threaten it. So you know what? I didn't really have anything better to put on there, so I just put Rock Polish. And yeah, this thing just destroyed him once I got an SD up. Got the Lumberry for Thunderous Eye, or like maybe Body Slam hacks from Snorlax. And then, yeah, and then just sweep pretty much. It's the whole deal with Terrakion here. Next up, we have Ape God with Return, Cotton Guard, Dragon Dance, and Roost, especially defensive. And this also just pretty much wrecked his team. Mega Blastoise couldn't really even touch this thing with Ice Beam. Once I got a Cotton Guard up, Guard Chomp couldn't touch it, and of course it can't Dragon Tail because it's a Fairy type. Really the only thing that really threatened it was Sludge Wave, Thunderous Eye, and yeah, that's pretty much it, because everything else is just beat by Cotton Guard pretty much. So yeah, these are just my two things to come in once everything's worn down and kind of clean up maybe. And to wear those bombs down, we got Sit On Me with standard special defensive, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro, Volt Switch, Pain Split. This is why, so I had something to switch into Garchomp and a Scavalier and Golurk and pretty much a lot of his team, just as a pivot. And also Willow stuff on the switch, like in case you wanted to bring Snorlax in, so it would force a rest and all that. So, yeah, so Rotom-Wash just really good on this team just to keep momentum. Next up, we have Excalibur with Stealth Rock Spikes, Whirlwind, and Roost. He didn't really have anything with Taunt on his team other than Thundurus, and I wouldn't stay in on Thundurus anyway, so I figured I could just get away with this no attacking set because his only real hazard remover is Mega Blastoise, and that has no recovery, so it just gets worn down by hazards every time it switches in. And of course I had a bunch of switches of that thing to begin with, so once Mega Blastoise was gone, like his team just pretty much dies to hazards, so I figured this would be important rather than using attack moves. Next up we have New Mittens, another little pivot here with Foul Play, Moonlight, Baton Pass, and Guard Swap. This was my Snorlax counter actually, because I had Wilbur and I had Gigareki, but at the same time I was just like, you know what? If Snorlax is like some like Chople Curse shenanigans, I really could lose to it easily, especially once Terrakion's gone, because Wilbur of course loses attack due to superpower and all that. So the cool thing about Guard Swap is that it swaps just the defense stats. So if say Snorlax had like 2 curses up, I could Guard Swap, take those defense boosts, and then KO it with Foul Play because Snorlax's attack would be really high. So and I would have a +2 defense Umbreon. So yeah, it was pretty gimmicky. I also had Choppleberry, and this was so I could take Focus Blast from Thundurus, as well as Close Combat from Ursaring, or a Spear from Mega Blastoise, or even Focus Blast from Miraculous. It was just really useful. Then we have Moonlight because I wanted Recovery, but I also didn't want to do Wish because I feel like I wouldn't have really like 2 turns to do it since I didn't have Protect. And then we have Baton Pass because Momentum, and Momentum is really nice. And I also could Baton Pass the Defense boost if I got them. And finally we have Wilbur, and this thing just wrecks. So yeah, Snorlax does not appreciate this. Even at plus, even with Linkers up, really nothing on his team appreciates this, like, at all. He just pretty much drops to whatever I can. And this thing was just so Escavalier. Like, I could just pretty much bait Escavalier and Excelgor, really. And they would just provide me like a free KO pretty much. So yeah, Wilbur doing Wilbur things. Superpower and Flare Blitz because that hits everything. Sucker Punch because priority, and then finally Wild Charge just for Mega Blastoise because even though my team matches up well against Mega Blastoise, I still don't really have much for it other than much to hit it. I mean, other than Rotom. So I figured I should put Wild Charge in there just in case I might need it. And yeah, so let's get right into the battle. So he brought pretty much what I expected him to bring. He didn't bring Snorlax. That was the only thing that made me sad because I really wanted to test out Guard Swap, but I don't know. I don't know why he didn't bring Snorlax because Snorlax is good, but whatever. So okay, I have my volume on. Good. So first turn I lead with Rotom as he leads with Blastoise. I figured he was either going to lead with Excelgor, Escavalier, or Blastoise, so predicting, or no, really just Blastoise. Blastoise, yeah, just anticipating the Skarmory, Earthquake, Thundurus too, so, or even Garchomp, so basically I knew he wasn't going to lead with Virizion, so I thought Rotom would be the best bet, just so I could get a Volt Switch out. As he actually switches out into Virizion here, and I go for the Volt Switch. He could have gone into Garchomp, but I didn't really care because I had Will-O-Wisp. And here I go to Wilbur, and Focus Blast does not do enough if I just KO it with Superpower, so Wilbur already picking up a kill as he had no switch-ins for it. Here goes into Excelgor. I'm just gonna switch out because I don't want anything this thing is selling. And he's gonna go for the spikes here, and of course I don't have any way to remove hazards, but fortunately for me it's just spikes because three of my mons aren't even affected by it. He goes for the Hidden Power Fire, which gets me surprised. Thankfully I was specially defensive, so I could take it well. And I'm just gonna roost up here. And here I just think I keep going for spikes. Yes, I do. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep going for Hidden Power, but it's not really gonna do much as I go for the Whirlwind. I'm expecting the Blastoise to come out there, but of course he gets Whirlwinded right into Blastoise because why not? By the way, he takes damage, like I was saying. He has to, he's forced to take more rocks damage and stuff. As Excelgor is just gonna switch out of Thundurus as I roost up again. I should have just gone for Stealth Rock, but what you gonna do? As Newtons can just take anything from this thing, except just kidding because he gets a crit. You know, same same week, new different week, same hacks. But here I'm not gonna Mega because I figured he might go for the Sludge Wave, and he actually didn't know that. He thought that it was that you had to Mega first turn, which is why I'm going to Scavalier, but it didn't really matter anyway because I had Cotton Guard, so it would not have made a difference whatsoever. So here I'm just going to keep going for the Dragon Dances as Blastoise does not 2-hit KO with Ice Beam, which is fabulous. I probably should have just gone for like another Dragon Dance or something, but whatever. As I'm going to roost up here, I'm not going to risk the freeze or crit or anything, I'm just going to take it out. Figure it's not worth it, because I think Excelgor still outspeeds, but I guess he didn't know that, so he goes into Thundurus, and he's going to T-Wave me, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm just be able to take it out with a return. I could have roosted there, but I also figured, you know what, could just have Sludge Beam and wreck my life, so... Or Sludge Wave. And wreck my life, so I didn't really want to risk that, so I just went for the return, get the safe damage, and Thundurus is gone, so he has no way to paralyze me anymore, which is nice. Here he goes to Garchomp, and I'm actually going to switch out here, because I knew he wasn't going to go for anything other than Earthquake, because it would just be risky. because obviously it plays to sack it because he can't switch in anymore due to spikes. But you know what? I'm smart. I want to preserve differential, so I went into Skarmory and eating up that Earthquake. So he goes for the Fire Blast, which is perfectly fine. I'm just gonna get up Stealth Rocks, and unfortunately I can't live another one, so I have to go into Rotom. It actually misses, but of course it doesn't matter. And I'm just free to burn whatever I want. So he goes into a Scavalier. I don't know. I would have gone into Excelgor there personally, but I don't know. Either way, something's dying. I actually get a crit there, revealing this is an Assault Vest set, which is kind of spooky, but that also means that Excalibur can take whatever this thing wants to do. And I'm just gonna roost up here, I think. Yep. And really, I'm just free to do whatever I want. So he goes for the Dragon Claw, over-predicting, but I had really no reason to switch because I really didn't need to keep this thing around anymore because I didn't have any attacking moves. I really had nothing really to do other than just stall out Escavalier. So now I'm gonna switch into Rotom here. So he goes for the Dragon Claw again, but I'm bulky, so I just eat that up. And here I think I go for the Hydro Pump. Yes, I do. And that doesn't take it out. However, I'm gonna be crafty again and switch into Skarmory. Like I said, I was able to play Reckloops with Skarmory just because I didn't really need it. So I figured, you know what, try to preserve as much differential as I can, and that's exactly what I did. So now he goes into Excelgor, and I was gonna roost here and try to stall out his Life Orb a bit, and which I can do. So I'm just gonna keep doing that, but. There's the crit. So, yep, another more differential loss due to hacks, which is a good sign. But thankfully, he doesn't really have anything to hit Gigareki, so I can just go for the CC. And this is just gonna be GG because Escavalier is just gonna die to hazards plus close combat, and I get a win. So a huge 4-0 win for me. A 5-0 would have been really nice, but. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out like that. Ooh, you can see. Oh, no, get out of here. I'm not advertising. Yeah, 5-0 would have been really nice just to get that differential up. But I mean, either way, I'm only one game back from every. Okay, pretty much the playoffs where if there's like 4 spots, so you can make the playoffs. With the top 2 are Yoris and Paul. And no one's catching them. They're like way high up, but everyone else has 15 points, which is the equivalent of 5 wins. Yeah, 5 wins, and I have 12 points now at this win. So I'm only a game behind. So if I get some good wins in and get like some differential, then I can definitely still make it. It's just really a long shot at this point, but. I mean, I was able to get the win, and I was able to get +4 differential back, which is really nice. So, really, my goal is to finish the season with positive differential. Which to do that, I'm pretty much gonna have to win my last 2 games. I'm only -2, but I don't want to lose any more differential. I really don't. So, yeah, you know what? It's the dream's still alive. It can still happen. So, we face Aster next week. And he's actually above me, and if he loses, he actually hasn't played his match yet, but if he loses, then and if I beat him next week, then then things get really interesting. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm not holding my breath. I mean, anything can happen, but you know, I'm just happy that I'm not last, pretty much. So yeah, and so yeah, thank you so much for watching. This has been Redithan. Please leave a like or subscribe if you enjoyed. And I will see you. I will see you with something different actually coming up. I got something special planned, so get hype. Anyway, goodbye. Oh, that was a mean goodbye. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. There we go.